If you're building something and you need to allow your users to create content or write some text, then you may want to consider using Froala. So Froala actually has a really big update, which is now they also easily allow you to upload images and other files with Filestack. So they are actually today's sponsor. And so for example, here in an example social media app, I could say something like, I'm using an awesome text editor. Press enter. Okay, but now I want another message with an image. So I can use the Filestack image picker. If I click on that, you can see I get this slick widget that we know from Filestack. I can configure the sources that the user is allowed to use. I picked an image from my computer. I can crop the image in any way I want. All the typical things that you can do with Filestack. I can save it and then actually upload it. And you can see here now it's in my editor here. If I submit this post, now I have a post with an image. The Froala text editor was already very powerful, but now I would say it really has this very useful combo because I don't have to set up some separate image hosting, although I could still do that if I want. The Filestack is now properly integrated, so I can just offload all of that work to Filestack. I can log into Filestack, the dashboard, and here I can see all the images that were uploaded. So let me quickly show you how Froala works. So I just removed the text editor, so we just have, let's say, like a social media type of app, and I'm calling it Daily Thoughts. And here I have a bunch of users. They have some messages here, so I have some initial posts here that I created with ChatGPT, and those are going to be my initial post. And what am I doing there? I'm just mapping over them. So for each one, I'm creating an ally. And here I'm doing something with set inner HTML because I'm going to use the Froala text editor content, which will give me HTML. So I'm going to insert that here. I'll show it in a second. But now, of course, I want to give the user the option to write some message here. So I need a text editor, right? So whenever you need some kind of text editor or you're creating a CMS or you're allowing your users to create content, you may want to consider using Froala, right? So really powerful. It's been around for a long time. I had a great time working with them so far. And now how do I integrate Froala here? So actually we need to install the React bindings. So I'm going to install React Froala. What you see is what you get. Also the Froala editor itself, so just the actual core logic. They are actually using Font Awesome for the icons, so let's also install that. And then I can include their components, the Froala editor component. I can specify which tag it needs to render in the actual HTML, just a text area. And I also want to include its CSS that it needs. So I'm going to include some CSS. And also the way Froala works is with plugins. So by default, actually it's very lean. And so if you want some additional functionality like a word counter or file stack or image uploads, you need to include them separately, or with this line, you will include all the plugins. So now when you include them, they will automatically be applied. So now when I go to the project, you can see now I have a nice editor here, right? And I can type as much as I want. We have by default a bunch of things applied here, word counter, many different options here, right? Very powerful set of tools, all sorts of things we can do here. But I want to focus on the image upload here. We can customize everything here by using the config prop here. So here we can specify the options for Froala. Now Froala has many options that they list on their website. You can see these are all the options that we have. But just to quickly show you some examples. So here I can specify which plugins I want to use, because by default here I'm including all of them, but maybe I don't want to use some. So here I'm gonna be a little bit more precise. I can, for example, also specify which toolbar buttons I want, whether they should have, whether the user can have multi-line writing. Now if I refresh here, you can see now it's a more minimalist setup, and I cannot press enter here for multi-line, right? So I can customize things any way I want. Actually, I will delete this one for now. And now what we can do is specify file stack options. So in Filestack, in the dashboard, I have an API key. So I added it here. So then when a user uploads an image, Froala and Filestack know to which account to upload that image to. I'm going to upload to Filestack only. I can specify other targets like S3 or Google Cloud. You can configure that here as well. I can also specify the types of files that the user is allowed to upload, right? So I'm focusing on images here, but I could also allow PDF files or videos or audio, which sources they can pick from. So their own OS level file picker or some external URL on the internet or other options. And also the filters and other things they could use to transform the image, right? So really what you're used to from Filestack, or in case you didn't use Filestack yet, it's very powerful as well. And now you can see I have this other button here and I get this slick widget here, and these are the sources I can pick from. So let's say I'm gonna pick this beach image I have. I can click on upload, and now here I can transform the image if I want, right? Maybe I want to focus a little bit more on the hammock here, just a little bit like this, maybe something like this. Let's keep it like this. I'm going to save, and now I can click on upload, and it will show me a progress bar, and here I get the image right here in the Froala editor here, which I can then use with all these other options by default. I can also customize all of this. Very powerful. Now if I go back to my Filestack dashboard and refresh here in my media list here, that this image was uploaded again. And actually, if I right click inspect and get the actual URL for the image, we can see that it's actually already put on a CDN, all managed by Filestack for me. So by default, these images are stored in Filestack's internal S3 bucket, but again, you can customize things to store them in a custom place that you own yourself, for example. All right, now what if I want to take the content of text editor here? Let me actually refresh. Wonderful day at the beach, and then I will include an image. How do I actually submit that? How do I get the content out of here? Well, also in the options here, we have events, right? So as the user interacts with the text editor, there are events that Froala will emit, and we can hook into them. For example, when Filestack is uploading an image to Filestack, we can hook into that if we want. But let's say when the user presses their enter key, we want to grab whatever they wrote here and create it and add that to the list here, right? So we have that in state. So here we have posts in state. I want to use set posts and add whatever content is in there. So what I can do is key down, that's an event. So I'm just pressing any key, and this is a key code for the enter. I'm going to prevent the default behavior, and I'm just going to take all of the previous posts, but before there, at the top, we're going to insert our new post with the content from the editor, which I can get with the this keyword. Right, so make sure in JavaScript you're using the traditional function syntax so that the this keyword properly binds. If you use an arrow function, the this keyword may not work properly. So we can use this.html to get the actual content from the wonderful day at the beach. Now I'm going to press enter, and you can see here I'm adding my message. Now I could also clear out the editor, but let's actually try adding an image and then submitting. I'm going to add the beach image one more time. All right, wonderful day at the beach. I'm going to press enter, and here we go. We have our message with the image on a CDN managed by Filestack, integrated in just a couple of minutes. So Froala now is even more powerful. I had a great time working with it actually. So in case you're looking for some kind of what you see is what you get HTML editor, I highly recommend you check out Froala. You can find a link in the description. In any case, I want to thank Froala and Filestack for sponsoring this video, and I want to thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Bye.